Berry's moved in across the street from me. Roy was 2. Wait. I was 4, Roy was 2, so it was 49 years ago. Roy was 2, I was 4, Jeff was a baby. We had many adventures, got in a lot of trouble, but don't get me wrong, my father was a great guy. He cared about me, he loved me, he kept a roof over my head, he kept me fed and clothed, but he was uninvolved with me. So, thanks to Al, that's the first time I've ever called him that. Thanks to Al, I learned how to hunt, I learned how to shoot, camping, running through the woods, all the things that a young boy should learn. And if I hadn't had him, that's right. If I had not had him in my life, I wouldn't have enjoyed all that. So he was like a second father to me, and he will be terribly missed. I didn't see him often, but every time I did, nothing changed. It was always the same. And right here in this spot, we had some of the best times of our lives, and I'll never forget it.
Yay! All right, I want to go. When we lived right down the street from the house.
That's right, down on the street here.
And Susanna used to get mad at us periodically, and she would pack her bag and get her pillow, and she would say, "I'm going to go live with the owls." Now, this was usually said from standing behind us if Al was actually standing there. But because we knew that they had the same interests and values and all those wonderful things that you did, one time when Bill and I were headed to Hawaii on a company trip, we drew up a document because we decided nobody in his family and nobody in my family,
not even my brother,
my brother either, or sister, would give to them what Al and Mary would give.
and my brother understood.
So we had them designated as not just their godparents, their parents-to-be. We bought a great big insurance policy and made them the recipients of that. It was an airline policy. And Marion said when we got back, she had never prayed so hard in all her life, because she would have gone from having 2 little boys to having 6 children, 3 of which were girls. And she said, "I have no idea what to do with girls." Right. So
What you do is you.
And when Al used to come out to our house to hunt or fish, as he often did out there when we moved out to Rankin County, Mary and I have a confession to make, knowing full well that if I had chicken frying on the stove, Al Berry was going to stay just a little bit longer. Oh, yeah. So we had
It was appropriate that they had fried chicken today.
And if you remember, when y'all came to visit that time, I fixed fried chicken.
Good.
For you and Al.
Thank you.
So here's to a great man.
Yes.
I don't want to say much because I'd say too much. You know me, I'm terribly wordy.
Yes.
But Al and I spent thousands of hours together in the woods, on the road, sometimes at a pizza parlor with a pitcher of beer, and that not often, but once in a while. But I'll just say this in summation: I treasured every minute of my friendship with the Berries. Every hour I spent with Al Berry was golden. That sums it up.
Well, I can say as his wife, he was the sweetest, kindest, most wonderful man I've ever met in my life.
You want to say?
Well, I wasn't born in the family, but I thank God from my heart that I had him. Took me like I was wrong. I was probably 3 years old when after them head wars. I remember Dad and Uncle Roy and Aunt Pennyback put me in the back of the car and went to Carolina to see wars when it was born. Alfred has always been my dad, but his father was the precious man I worshiped. Wherever he went downtown New Haven, I was right behind his heels every step of the way with my hand in his back pocket. I couldn't say Uncle Roy, but I called him Uncle Joe. And everybody in the department store would get the biggest kid. Where's your little sidekick, Ronnie? Uncle George. He taught me a lot. When I was at the Baptist Children's Village, they'd come get me out for weekends for vacation. Right here. Us kids would have a bonfire, roast wings. And when I came down here with Jeff and Bob and watched his boys, his little kids shoot them guns, I looked at Jeff. I said, Jeff, tears started running down my face. I said, that brings memories back when we was that age. Your dad taught us how to hold it, what the trigger was for, with the safety, everything, how to load, and make sure the guns was empty before we put them up in the casing. That stuck with me all through my life. When I have grandkids, I try to spend time like Alfred did with me. Teach them about firearms. Every day, you're not guaranteed if you're going to be here or not. And I just thank God let me come into a wonderful family that loved me. And I couldn't take $1 million for none of what Alfred had taught me and his precious wife, Mary did. I want y'all to know, Roy, anytime y'all need me, please call.
Okay. You're right.
I'll be behind you every way, baby. I love y'all from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, Ray.
I have the added pleasure. I'm not sure if anybody else in the crowd, I may be the only one here that actually got to have him for a teacher too. So I don't know if that was you guys. All right. And despite that, I'm still here. But I'm just like you. I have all those memories. I mean, ever since I was notified of the day. I mean, we have a tape somewhere, videotape of where we were replaying old Super 8, those old real movies, you know, without sound, of all of us, y'all when you were just little boys and we were tappers, riding the Hondas.
I was going to say, I was
scooting
going
up
to
and
add
down
the
those
motorcycles
humps.
down here.
Yeah.
We also rode
And
motorcycles
behind
down
behind
here,
Rebel
not
number
just shot all
2,
the guns.
in that little cart or whatever he'd hook up.
Mm-hmm.
And that tape's been running on endless loop pretty much for the last week or two. So
Jumping over that little hill,
spot
Yeah.
hitting that hill.
Y'all will keep reminding me. I can find that tape. It's even got a picture of Al. It's got footage of Al riding in a pony cart, giving y'all rides in a pony cart behind Rebel 2. And he's dragging a big 4x4 or a fence post or something to spread the cow manure in the cow lot.
He was knocking out 2 birds
And
with one
it's
stone.
got Mama B in the picture. Mama B comes walking by, and, waves and all this. And I will make, now that technology exists and I know how to avail myself of it, I'll make DVDs of it. If anybody will.
Love it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Love to
just
have
my children poking fun at one another. You'd see Sam comes out and Suzanne says, "Nice hair." Hair was down to here back then.
Yeah.
Well,
You might want to actually keep the sound off.
Catherine
That's
starts
red,
out to
white,
the little.
striped pants.
Catherine starts out to the little pond with the ducks in it, and somebody says, "There goes water bottom." She's about this big.
You need to pour it by roasts.
I just want to say we had a lot of great times out here with Grampy and all the dogs, and I just love him, and I'll miss him a lot.
I don't know about y'all, but I can see here every one of them dogs.
Yep.
When I set my tailgate down, I said, Lord, just listen. Listen to them. They want to get out after a rat. Lord, I said, yeah, oh.
Well, I have a quick story. It was usually when we'd all come down here, Suzanne and Sam got to ride back with Uncle Al. But there was one time, Jamie and I got to ride back because we'd finally gotten old enough, and she still was little bitty, not that I was much bigger, but we were sitting in the front seat, and I don't know what possessed us, but we decided we should sing our alphabet song to him. So we sang it, and who knows whether we got it right or not. But when we were done, he just went on and on about how wonderful it was, and he just enjoyed listening to us sing, so we sang it again. No telling how many times he had to endure the ABC song on the ride home that day, but not once did he discourage us or say anything to dissuade us, and it's still a sweet memory.
He could endure. He could sure endure. Anybody was a close friend of mine for all those years hasn't been able to endure. But I'll tell you one thing about him. I think I can say with great accuracy about him and one other person. None of y'all know him. He's a pediatrician in Meridian. I went to high school with him. But Al Berry and that guy, probably the only two men I've ever known in my life, never stepped out of line. Never stepped out of line.